Well, good Friday evening, everyone. I am Chief Meteorologist Tom Brannon. You're joining us on THV 11 Plus, getting an early start on the severe weather threat here in Arkansas tonight. The cap finally broke and storms are developing in a line. We've got several severe thunderstorm warnings in effect now that are just to the west of the Little Rock metro area. And it's all right. You bring it over here, Chris. Chris Cohn, one of our directors, just bringing me some battery backup tonight. Looks like it's going to be a long night. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, tonight we're expecting severe weather. In fact, I'm looking at our camera shot outside to the west. I can already see the overshooting tops of these thunderstorms beginning to get closer to Little Rock. Tornado watch is also in effect. Oh, that's the weather garden shot there. Yep, that's all right. We'll get it fixed here in just a moment, Roger. I kind of threw this one at Roger. He just had his dinner tonight, and we've got our THV 11 crew standing by. There you go. That is it. You're looking at the overshooting tops of these thunderstorms as they move a little bit closer to central Arkansas. And the line extends from Scott, Yell, through Pope into Conway County. It's getting a little closer to western parts of Perry County. The line is moving, or the storms within the line are moving east at 55 miles per hour. The line itself is sagging. Tornado watch in effect until 2 a.m. Saturday morning, and there's a tornado warning that's in northeast Arkansas for Clay County. I think the best parameter for tornadoes is in that part of the state. We've got more of a wind threat and a hail threat, but as these storms get closer to central Arkansas, why not break in and let you know what's going on? Let's take a look at live radar real quick, and I'll break it down for you. This is central Arkansas, the viewing area. The storms extend from Van Buren County through northern Conway, down to southern Pope County, splitting Russellville and Atkins at this time, Danville over to Waldron. And the main concern tonight with these storms is going to be large hail. Baseball, possibly larger in some regards. Softball-sized hail can't be ruled out. The storms could also pack a punch with winds in excess of 60-plus miles per hour. I'm going to take us back a frame to our statewide vantage point, show you what's going on. All of this is in advance of a cool front. There's some energy aloft riding along that frontal boundary, so storms are firing up tonight. Again, northeast Arkansas, in my estimation, has the best chance of tornadoes, although the tornado threat does still exist in parts of central Arkansas. Look at those supercell thunderstorms. The strongest storms are in Clay County, also Lawrence, Sharp County, northern parts of Izard County. So for our friends and neighbors up in Stone and Izard County, storms are beginning to pop. And this one concerns me. That's out just to the southeast of Mountain View, west of Batesville. No warning there yet for that storm, but it is quickly coming together. And since it's on its own, we got to keep a close eye on it. We could be looking at the development of a supercell thunderstorm. And if we want to, Raj, let's go over to Storm Track 11 real quick. I'm going to take a little bit of a closer vantage point, see if there's any rotation with this storm, and it's pretty broad-based right now. It may have some hail with it. Yeah, the hail is coming together, about 3/4 inch hail with this storm in Independence County. That cell is moving to the northeast at about 55 miles per hour. And it's broken apart. I think we're going to see it come together there in northern Cleburne County, eastern Van Buren County. For those of you that live in Van Buren County near Formosa, northern Conway County, Pope County, Atkins, you're getting a pretty good thunderstorm right now. The strongest cell looks like it's right over Danville. And again, these storms, the cells within the storms are moving to the east at 55. 2 a.m. in the morning for a tornado watch. I'm hoping that threat diminishes well before then. Most of our forecast model information has been indicating the storm should move through central Arkansas by the 10 o'clock newscast. Hoping to salvage a 10 o'clock newscast tonight. All right, let's go back to Max 1 and take a look at what else is going on. There's that cell in Independence County. Good evening if you're joining us there. Batesville area up to Cave City. You talk about an area of Arkansas that's just been hammered with severe weather threat after severe weather threat, really severe weather, tornadoes, you name it, they've had it. There's the storms. Again, they are moving to the east. The line is moving to the east, and our main concern is going to be some damaging wind gusts. Now, earlier tonight, I did pull up our visible satellite perspective, and we could see where that line, which is now through Logan County, that's where the front is located. Behind the front, temperature 80 in Harrison and Fayetteville. So it's cooling off there. Some drier air is working into that region of Arkansas. It's out ahead of that. We've got a very warm, unstable air mass. We've got lots of storm fuel to work with. So the storms will persist and maybe even get stronger here over time. Izard, Fulton, Lawrence, and Randolph counties here as of 7:30 are under a severe thunderstorm warning. 1.5 inch hail is the main threat or the main hazard with those storms and wind gusts in excess of 60. Let me break down the risk for us tonight, and it's going to last us for a good part of the night tonight. Most of Arkansas, all of Arkansas, is under a risk of severe weather. Marginal in extreme northwest Arkansas, slight risk of severe weather in central, enhanced risk over central, northeast, and a moderate risk. And this is where we start to talk about the tornado threat. I think there's a better tornado threat for that part of the state in northeast Arkansas, and they have the warnings to go along with them. So breaking it down tonight, here's what we can expect. The threat of a tornado in central Arkansas, let's say Russellville, Little Rock down to Fordyce, over to Helena, West Helena. It's minimal. It's about a 2% likelihood, but it's there. And then as we head into northeast Arkansas, within that yellow area, there's a greater risk of a tornado. And the orange area, a strong tornado, EF2 possible, or even stronger than that. The parameter for tornado development is best north and east of Arkansas. It's mainly going to be wind and hail up to softball-sized hail in that hatched area, and winds greater than 60 miles per hour in the hatched area north. I should say for all of us in the hatched area, it could be up to 80 miles per hour. So that's our severe storm outlook for the night tonight. Let's do a little tracking on Storm Track 11, if you don't mind, Raj. I'll take us out to a broader perspective, and that way you can see where we are tonight. Again, it's this series of impulses of low pressure along with a frontal boundary, upper level trough of low pressure responsible for this round tonight. And you can see some big storms continue to fire up. And note back out over Izard County, they continue to back build. This reverse zipper effect. We could see that during the 6 o'clock news. And then right before 7 o'clock, the storms really began to fire up in western Arkansas and quickly became severe. Right now they're in a line. If they become individualized, that is a recipe for a supercell that could produce hail, and we'll have to keep a close eye on whether or not there's some rotation there. But let me pause it for just a second, and we're going to take a closer look at that one that's near Danville tonight. Danville, the storm moving over the top of you. Now, the good news is once the line of storms moves through your area, the severe weather threat is over for you. But just to give you an idea of what we're dealing with here, along with strong winds, just south of Danville, they could have 1 3/4 inch hail. It's possible. That's golf ball sized hail. In fact, 1 inch hail is being reported by the National Weather Service, the public up in Sharp County. These are expected to be some prolific hailers tonight in central and southern Arkansas. So the severe thunderstorm warning continues for Izard, Fulton, Lawrence, Randolph, Sharp counties, northeast Arkansas, and out over central and west central Arkansas. Atkins, just to your south and south of the interstate there's another hail core there. That would be 3/4 inch to 1 inch. The main threat is going to be some big hail tonight up toward Batesville. That storm I was talking about just a few moments ago, west of Batesville and to the south of Bethesda, that's another storm capable of producing some hail. But the concern I have with this, you can see how it begins to bend back to the southwest, that appendage. Let's go to velocity mode, and I will tell you whether or not, it's pretty broad right now. It's not really that tight. I'm going to keep an eye on things from the National Weather Service and see what they have to say here tonight. Streaming on THV 11 Plus, because why not? It's a Friday night. Folks have plans going on. Maybe you've got graduation ceremonies happening near you. And this is what this is designed for. And, you know, with stuff that's not tornadic, to break in and kind of give you an idea of what's happening in your area. So thank you for joining us tonight. That is a supercell thunderstorm, by the way. And it's this area here that's north of Almond, Arkansas, to the west of Desha, or Desha. I don't know how they say it up in Independence County, but here in Arkansas, it's Desha County, right? Batesville, that core of heavy rain and hail could move over you within the next 15 to 20 minutes or so. So that's a strong cell on its own, a supercell, and those are the cells as they evolve into northeast Arkansas could become tornadic. So Independence County, Lawrence, Sharp County, over to Craighead County. Paragould is in Greene County. So Greene, Clay, Lawrence, and Randolph counties, those counties will have the greater tornado threat for the night tonight. Severe weather risk, why don't we go back to Max 1. Let's talk about, we've got tonight, let's cover tomorrow, and also Sunday. There is a severe weather risk all weekend long. Thank you, Raj, for pulling that up. Appreciate it. Severe weather risk is level 2 out of 5, a slight risk of severe weather for more of the same, wind and hail. Large hail, quarter-sized or golf ball-sized hail or larger tomorrow. These storms will come to us out of the Arklatex region. The front flattens out over southern Arkansas. It's kind of meanders there. It's not going to go anywhere. And anytime you got a boundary that just kind of rests in a certain area, you get these impulses of low pressure. They provide the emphasis for some pretty heavy rainfall. So if the storms get going and they train over the same areas, the flash flooding threat will also go up. Here's your severe outlook for tomorrow. Tornado is on the low end with this round, but hail, hatched area, golf ball size. That's 1 3/4 inch hail. Winds of 60+ miles per hour in the yellow, and that does include Russellville, Little Rock, Monticello, and DeWitt. So that's the next round, and the timing of that round is going to be coming our way tomorrow afternoon and evening, and then another chance on Sunday. But wait, there's more. There could be a round on Monday, and then we get to Tuesday, and that round of storms could also resemble more of a severe weather scenario that could provide us with more tornadoes. So we're going to be active the next several days. If there's any positive on this, the light at the end of the tunnel is that we'll have a much nicer, drier, cooler end of the week next week, heading into Memorial Day holiday weekend. There's our front, and that's about the position. That front slowly moving to the southeast, and it will continue to sink tonight, and it will move through the Little Rock area. It may be a little bit later, around 11, 12 o'clock tonight. So if the storms can hurry up and get out of here and everything settle down, Saturday looks pretty good. A very hot and sticky day tomorrow. We might actually make it to 90 tomorrow. But that frontal boundary is in northwest and north central Arkansas. Thank goodness on the northern side of it, Fayetteville Regional going on. Ladies softball tonight. Razorbacks playing Tennessee tonight. I'm sure Tyler Cass will have a score update for us. I might pull him in here just for a score update since I can't watch the game tonight. I'm here to help you out, help you with your plans for the evening. Notice how the storms are lining up right along that frontal boundary. And the storms are moving pretty good. To the east at 55, the line is sinking to the southeast, a little bit slower than that. Those of you in Independence County, no warning on that storm just yet. Hopefully we're going to lose a little bit of the daytime heating that helps to fuel these storms once the sun sets tonight. But right now we've got plenty of heating feeding into these storms. Let's go to Storm Track 11. Raj, thank you very much. And this gives you a general overview. It's not a big, thick line of storms. It's relatively thin, if you want to say that. And it's moving along pretty good. But storms in southern Van Buren County, south of Clinton, north of Morrilton, Atkins, it's over the top of you right now. And we could be getting some big hail in that storm that's near Ola, Arkansas, and also over Atkins. 1 inch hail being reported there. So that's the score tonight. We're able to stream on THV 11 Plus this evening on this Friday night, just to keep you up to date on what's happening. And if you've got plans moving forward tonight, then we want to make sure that you know what's coming at you as quickly as we can. I'd have to ask our digital representative tonight, Mr. Banks, let me know with a yes or a no if we're also on other platforms. You're watching THV 11 Plus. We also have a YouTube platform, and when we have tornado warnings, we will join THV 11 and Facebook Live. But I'll let Chris do that tonight. And what a week it has been. Hot weather conditions, plenty of fuel for these thunderstorms, just kind of a recipe for strong to severe weather with these weather systems moving through. Let's go back to Max 1, and I will show you the timing of this. Here it is, 7:44. Now the HRRR is indicating more of a broken line, and this line does not appear to be broken. This is by 9 o'clock, still kind of hanging out in central Arkansas. Strong storms in southeast Arkansas by 11. We get a break overnight. And then as we look forward to Saturday, the timing of the next round, Saturday looks good. I upped the rain chances on Saturday for the afternoon and evening. This is by 3 o'clock. The high resolution data that we're getting is indicating the storms could be in western Arkansas as early as 5 or 6 o'clock. So about a 40% likelihood of strong storms in western Arkansas. Some of those storms could have some big hail. could have some strong wind gusts. This is Saturday night, 10 o'clock. That mesoscale complex begins to move away from us. We'll settle down a bit. And Sunday, we'll keep an eye on the next round that's going to come our way. Looking into the future, 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning Sunday. And you can see those storms still persisting over the north and northeastern part of the state by the afternoon hours. So with that in mind, your forecast is calling for storms tonight in 66. I do want to get to the 7-day because I want to show you some good news. 89, partly sunny, scattered showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. I mentioned the latter part of the week next week, Memorial Day holiday weekend. Looks cooler and drier. Temperatures back down about where they should be. In fact, we could spend a few days below average temperature-wise once we get beyond the Tuesday time period with the next round of strong to severe thunderstorms. A tornado watch remains in effect tonight. For those of you that are just joining us on THV 11 Plus, just kind of running down the weather scenario for the night tonight, because why not? Yeah, just want to keep you safe. Just want to keep you informed as to what's going on. The watch for the Little Rock area is in effect until 2 a.m. Now, I don't think it's going to stay that way. I think the storms will move through Little Rock way earlier than that. But there you go. Till 2 a.m., everybody in yellow is under a tornado watch. There have been some counties lifted in north central Arkansas. Baxter County, Searcy, Johnson, and Logan counties no longer under the tornado watch. But watches are still in effect for Polk and Scott counties tonight. And just judging by where the line of storms is located, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw, well, let's see. Wouldn't be surprised if Pope County is removed, one of the counties removed here soon. We have gnats in the studio, and somehow, some way, they've managed to find me. I'm attracting bugs here tonight, folks. Well, storm near Atkins bears watching as well. There's no warning on it, but I am looking at an area of rotation. Let's go storm track 11. A broad area of rotation with that storm near Atkins tonight on storm track right here southwest of Atkins, and that lines up nicely with where the inflow area is. It could be a strong updraft. If anything, there's more than likely some big hail with that storm up near the Atkins area. Looks like it's on the scale of about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. Now, Plainview, Arkansas, near Ola, this is the strongest cell that we have, and it could be producing some big hail. Right now, it looks like it's 1-inch hail, but it has the potential to produce 1 to 1.5-inch hail. Notice from near Gravely, Arkansas, Rover, Plainview, over to Blackwell, that storm has moved away from Atkins. It's within this line that we're getting the potential for the big hail and the strong and gusty winds for tonight. National Weather Service, love Dennis Cavanaugh over there. He's going to be trimming up the Yell Logan Scott warning. The severe part of that line is really centered over Yell County, where 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds are the main threats for the night tonight. I apologize for this, folks. That gnat went up my nose and in my coffee. Great. Well, so much for the cup of coffee tonight. Welcome to live THV 11 Plus. Didn't know they like coffee. Oh, well, maybe I can get it out of there. I don't mind drinking it. Watching us on Plus tonight, thank you very much. THV 11 Plus. Going over a little bit of weather concerns for folks out there. All right, a little protein. No problem there. Storms occurring in west central and central Arkansas, getting a little closer to the Little Rock metro area. The line of storms, and again, north side of the line, the severe weather threat comes to an end. It's on the south side of the line that we're keeping an eye on. Perry County is going to be next. Conway County, eventually Faulkner County. Got a supercell there moving on the border of Pope and Conway counties that's producing some hail, could be producing some hail, but the stronger storms are certainly up in northeast Arkansas, where we've had tornado warnings tonight. In Independence County, if we have anybody in Independence County joining us tonight near the Batesville area, you've got a very strong storm near you, but it has not been warned just yet. Okay, Chris Banks sent me a message. Or on Plus, YouTube, and Facebook. Okay, thank you very much. All right, Facebook Live. There you go. Thank you for joining us on Facebook Live tonight. Hopefully your graduation ceremonies were not impacted by the weather. The weather held off. The cap finally did erode. It broke, and that allowed for the explosive development of these storms. Fingers crossed that we'll lose a lot of the storm fuel when the sun sets. If we can go back to our camera shot outside from Little Rock looking west, the overshooting tops, those cirrus anvils reaching as far here in central Arkansas. The line moving to the east-southeast. Cells within that line are racing to the east at about 55 miles per hour. So that's what it looks like outside. Back to our watches and warnings. Tornado watch is in effect until 2 o'clock. And, you know, I'm hopeful that we won't have too many in central and north central Arkansas, but northeast Arkansas once again has the big bullseye on it tonight. This is what that line looks like on radar. This is live radar. Tornado warning is now being allowed to expire up in Clay County, Independence County. You have a strong storm over you right now. That is right over Batesville. Storms continue from Van Buren, Conway, into Yell County, and the warning has really been scaled back. It's just that cell in Yell County that extends back over into Scott County. And I would say here in the next half hour or so, the severe weather threat for Scott County is going to come to an end, and even Pope County. We'll see a few more counties lifted from that tornado watch here in just a few minutes. Let me take you a little closer to the action. With that line of severe thunderstorms, strong to severe thunderstorms, right now, the only one that is in effect is in Yell County, and that's right over Ola. So Ola's getting a pretty good shot of some wind and maybe even some hail. Let me see what it looks like here on our hail now mode. And just to the west of Ola, the hail core could be ping pong ball sized, or maybe even a little bit smaller than that. The storm's producing hail and wind tonight. Thank you for joining us again, THV 11 Plus, YouTube and Facebook. I am Tom Brannon. It's Friday night. Folks are out and about, activities on a Friday night. Just keep an eye on the weather where you are. We have a risk of severe weather, slight risk. It's a level 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5 over northeast Arkansas. And it's even if there's a part of Arkansas with a moderate threat of severe weather. Missouri's been hit hard tonight. This afternoon, Missouri had tornadoes near St. Louis this afternoon. They've had numerous warnings. And those are going to continue until this system gets out of the way. In the Midwest is really, and this is the time of year we begin to see that severe weather threat shift north away from the southern plains and the southeast. But May is still a big severe weather month for us, but it begins to track more to the north. That cell looks like it has weakened a little bit now, still with a severe thunderstorm warning over Yell County, just west of Ola, between, say, Highway 7 and Highway 150, or south of 154, but near Highway 7. I think that's, what is that, Highway 80 that's going, there's several going into Ola right here. Maybe even Highway 10. And that goes up to Pettigene Mountain. But that's the only severe thunderstorm warning that we have at this time, and that's all right. We're just going to be here tonight. Try to answer some questions that you may have. So Chris, if you have anybody with any questions, I'll be happy to try to answer them tonight on YouTube or even on Facebook. Over toward Gravely, Arkansas, that's western Yell County. There's a little bit of hail with that thunderstorm, but that thunderstorm has certainly come down a bit. Scott County, notice those blue dots indicate where we could have some hail, brief hail, not huge, maybe upwards of around nickel-sized hail, but the one west of Ola, quarter to possibly ping pong ball-sized hail. Another warning has been canceled for east central Izard County. Still looking at that impressive cell that is over Independence County. Storm Track 11 shows it now just either right over the top of Batesville or just to the southeastern part of town. If you want to take Storm Track 11, there you go. There's that individual cell that did look like for a moment or two it was wrapping up in Independence County. There's Batesville. It's moving to the east. Swifton, Tuckerman are going to be in the path of that storm. But the ones to the north near Evening Shade, Sharp County, over toward Lawrence and Randolph counties, those have been very strong tonight. Thanks for joining us on THV 11 Plus. A little weather streaming here. It is 7:54, and the area that had a severe thunderstorm warning, now we just have one county, in Yell County, under a warning in the central part of the state. This is what our watches look like. And we'll keep an eye on, what happened? You were on the right one. You were on Max 2 is where you were. That's where it was. I could talk my way through the watches, and the good news is that I think some of those counties, Pope County within the next 30 minutes or so, and even possibly Scott County, that line gets a little farther to the south. That frontal boundary going to take its time moving through tonight. It is 7:55, so we have a ways to go. And that tornado watch is in effect until 2 for Hot Springs and for Little Rock over to West Memphis and also upwards toward the Jonesboro area. Those are your tornado watches. Back to Max 1, we've got hail out there tonight. At least radar indicated hail according to our products that we take a look at. Conway County up toward northern Conway County. That cell has really come down in intensity up toward the Batesville area. Yell County near Ola, still a severe thunderstorm warning tonight with that cell. The tornado threat is there. It's not as high as it is in northeast or northeast Arkansas. But we're just here tonight, just kind of hanging out, working our way through weather, doing a little streaming tonight on THV 11 Plus. For those of you that are concerned about the weather, that's what we're here for, to make sure that you know what's coming at you. And that line, maybe it'll break apart a little bit. I would love for that to happen if the line would go away. So that's what's going on. What is Rolly Hoyt up to? Is Rolly back at his desk yet? We'll get Rolly Hoyt and or Faith to come in and join. We'll talk a little bit about some things just to kind of hang out together on a Friday night. Wouldn't mind doing that. We'll see what Rolly, he's probably watching the ball game. I wonder if the Knicks are playing tonight. He's a big Knicks fan. He also likes hockey. All right. Chris Banks sending me some questions. Thank you, Chris. I do appreciate that. We like that. What is the chance of a tornado watch turning into a warning? Well, I think you need to know the difference between the two. First of all, the watch covers up. Let's go back to Max 2, Raj. What are the chances tonight? Well, the ingredients are there. When we talk about the necessary means for tornadoes to develop, on the southern extent here, Little Rock, Hot Springs, northern extent, northeast Arkansas, tornado watch covers up a larger area, and a warning is confined to a couple of 3 counties. So there is a chance tonight that with any of these storms in this line, if they break apart or maybe if they strengthen, and I think the likelihood is more in northeast Arkansas, that seems to be where the parameter is located. So there is a chance that 1 or 2 counties could get a tornado warning. Wouldn't be surprised. Hope that helps. Is the warning going no, the watch is just for about the northern half of the state, except for northwest Arkansas. Okay, Saline County, are they going to fizzle before they make it to you? I hope so, but they may keep their strength. That line of storms is going to be sinking towards central Arkansas. It's now beginning to enter western Perry County. It's over southern Yell, Scott, Montgomery County. You're going to be next, northern Garland County, as that line sinks to the south. We'll see those storms approach the Pulaski County, Little Rock area from northwest to southeast tonight. General movement with that. There's a new warning coming up, and there you go. New warning for Perry County. Let's go to Storm Track 11. Well, no, it's right here. I'm sorry. There's your warning. So this warning is now for Perry County, a little part of Saline County. So yeah, Saline County is involved with that. Perry, Saline, and just a little chunk of Pulaski County. Let me give you the specifics on that. Severe thunderstorm warning, the possibility of 1 1/4 inch hail with this storm. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, $half sized hail. The storm located over Ola, or 11 miles east of Danville, and it's moving to the east at 35. So they were moving to the east at 55, and now they're moving more east-southeast at a slower pace at 35 miles per hour. So severe thunderstorm warning, now the new one has been issued for Perry and a part of northern Saline County. So that is the most impressive cell that we have tonight in central Arkansas. And more cells trying to hold together over the northeastern part of the state. Looks like Sharp, Lawrence, Randolph, and Clay counties, northern Greene County, under severe thunderstorm warnings tonight as well. And if we can go back to Storm Track 11, Roger, we'll take a look at that cell that has prompted that extension to that warning, that severe thunderstorm warning. And there it is right there. There's Perry County. I'm going to lift it up a little bit. Move it over. There we go. Right there's Casa, Berta, Hollis, and you can see the polygon. We have a way, for these nighttime events, we have a service that will call you if there's a severe thunderstorm warning that impacts you in your area. Weather call is what it is. And let's say that you go to bed at 10 o'clock tonight and the storms are not quite through your region and you want to be alerted. This service will call you and wake you up. What's really cool about it is if you're in the path of that thunderstorm, within that polygon, you'll get the phone call. Outside of the polygon, you're not going to get the call. And that's for severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings. We've added that to the list of ways to receive severe weather information. You can't have enough, in my estimation. THV11 app. Of course, you can stream when you're in your closet, your safe place. You can stream us on your app. You can get a call in the middle of the night. If you're sleeping, text the word call if you want more information, 501-376-1111. Call to 501-376-1111, and it will alert you when a storm is in your area. Again, in this box, if you are in the path, and it's very precise. It does it for severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings. This is a new severe thunderstorm warning that does include a part of northern Saline County, a little sliver of western Pulaski, Perry County. That cell is near and through Ola, moving toward the Berta, Casa area. Highway 10, Perry County at the Perry. Yeah, so that's the next cell. All right. And I apologize, I'm blind. I can't see anything. I have to have the readers on. Max 1 will show you what's at stake here. Again, the main concern tonight with these cells moving through, going to be some big hail and possibly some winds of 60 plus miles per hour. And you can see the concern with that. There's that hail core near Ola. That's near ping pong ball. Quarter sized in the blue. You get up toward ping pong ball in that light orange shade. So that's why we're concerned about the cells tonight. Could produce some big hail. 1.5 inch hail. I guess that's $half sized hail. That's enough to cause some property damage and some injury if you're not careful. Here's live radar once again for those of you that are wanting to know where the storms are located in reference to where you live tonight. There's not much going on south of that line or really northwest of it. And once the line moves through your region, the severe weather threat is going to be coming to an end. There seems to be an area here, a bit of a zipper effect in northern Arkansas near Sharp County, where storms continue to populate over the same areas as Sharp, Lawrence, Randolph, Clay County, Greene County. They've all had warnings. They have one right after the other tonight. Independence County, Jackson County, that storm is not warned just yet. The latest warning is for the cell in Perry County. That now has a little part of northern Saline County with it tonight. Anybody else have a question? Chris, keep those questions coming if you don't mind. I would appreciate it. Watching us on THV11 Plus and also on YouTube and Facebook tonight for the threat of severe thunderstorms that could produce some large hail, some wind, and you can't rule out a tornado. Severe weather season here in Arkansas, March, April, and May, the spring season. And then you get into the fall and winter where we have another risk and threat of severe weather. But there's your line finally coming together tonight. We talked about, the cap today in the newscasts, and it's what it is. It's a cap. It's a lid on the atmosphere. There's a layer of warm air just off the ground. But above that layer of warm air, you've got the parameters for rapid intensification of thunderstorms development. You got colder air aloft, so you got to get that warm air wedge out of the way. It's got to be lifted out of the way. So the upper level support came through tonight in western Arkansas, and the upper level support or the upper level trough is lifting that warm air layer out of the way so that thunderstorms can develop, free ascent into the atmosphere. Sunset's beginning to take shape. We're still looking at the clouds out to the west of us here in Little Rock, that line that's going to move through a little bit later on tonight. Hopefully graduation ceremonies have come to an end and folks are back at home hunkering down for what may or may not happen tonight. There's always a bust factor with severe weather here in the natural state. And I'm thankful for that because sometimes these things don't work out. Tonight, this one's coming together, but the cells the storms in the line, they just haven't really gotten that much stronger. In fact, with one warning out there, there were several warnings. I think that's good. But in northeast Arkansas, the storms do look a little more promising, a little more, they look stronger there in northeast Arkansas. Nope, get out of my coffee. I need something for gnats. It's gnats. Have you folks at home noticed that? Gnats, they come around here in May, they come into the building. It's sure annoying. Gnats and mosquitoes. Got to have the coffee to keep me up tonight if we're going to have this thing go till 2 o'clock in the morning. So will I be able to sleep tonight? Yeah, I think you'll be able to sleep. Timing for Jacksonville. I'm going to say, going back over to, I'm going to take a look at our forecast models again. Our forecast models will be updating. The 0Z data is going to come down here shortly, probably between now and 9 o'clock. It's probably getting there. Let me go back and look here. Give me just a moment. So this is 8:05, 8 o'clock. Storms are not in central Arkansas yet. They're still out to the west, so it looks like it's going to be later rather than earlier. I think that if there's anything good that our future radar, high-res radar is indicating, they break apart somewhat. Maybe they'll weaken. This is by 9 o'clock, central Arkansas. I would hope that the storms will be through the Jacksonville area 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock tonight. And then we'll shift our focus to southeast Arkansas, where that threat is more than likely going to remain till about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. The storms are affecting the Jonesboro area tonight. That was another question. And they've got some great nets up in Jonesboro, Arkansas, that handle that area. I try to stay out of their business. They're fully capable of covering Jonesboro. They've got a great lineup of folks up there that take care of that part of the state. And these storms are going to begin to impact Jonesboro. That storm that's in Jackson County, it looks like it's not holding together very well, but if it does, it would be impacting Jonesboro. All right, we'll go back up to radar here. Let me put a track on this. We had a request for the track of the Ward storm. Sometimes computers run slow, folks. Almost as slow as weathermen. Okay. Let's put a little track on this. You see the cell. It's moving. Let's see. Looking for how they've moved along pretty good there. It was 35 miles per hour. Let's put a track on it here. 35. Oops, not 355. It'd really be out of here quick, wouldn't it? All right. I'd like to take it a little farther if it holds together. 35 miles per hour. Here are the locations that will be impacted. Casa at 8:10, so it's 8:08 right now. The storm's on top of Casa. Cherry Hill 8:27. Sweet Home 8:38. This takes us into western Pulaski County near Y Mountain 8:50. So there's your track. Hope that works out for you. Weather Service is keeping an eye on that storm that's near Batesville tonight. Since it's by itself. And one of the questions was, so the storm's close to Ward, so you can see that the storms are still well to the west of the Little Rock area, and that does include Ward. Ward is over in Lone Oak County. Let me take this off real quick. Give me just a second, and I'll give you a perspective. There's Cabot, there's Ward, there are the storms. Is that line, if it holds together, what time is it, 8:09? I'd say maybe about 10 o'clock. So Ward is just northeast of Cabot, between Cabot and Beebe. Austin, Ward, Cabot, Austin, Ward, Beebe. Garner, Searcy. You got McRae over there as well. That's Highway 67, 167, or the new I-57. So there you go. But the closest storm to central Arkansas, Little Rock metro area, is now in western Perry County. And the main concern with this cell is going to be some very large hail. Right now, it's quarter sized in diameter. These cells will weaken a little bit, then they'll strengthen. There's your polygon indicating who's in line. Case it's right over the top of you, and that's going to be entering western Pulaski County, like I said, a little bit later on down the line. Put that storm track back on it. Move it 35 miles per hour. Probably Y Mountain, that's in western Pulaski County, before 9 o'clock. Okay. Hope everyone's had a great day. Looking forward to a great weekend as well. Before you know it, Memorial Day weekend's going to be here. There's some good news. We got all the storminess out of the way. Memorial Day looks great. Right now, at least the weekend part of it looks great with some drier, cooler conditions. That is our hail now. Let me go back to, I'm going to take us to the 1 hour radar loop. And we'll put it into motion here. Strongest storm within that line is the one in eastern Yell in western Perry County, but the line is moving to the east-southeast. It's along a frontal boundary. The frontal boundary is flattening out northeast through central and western Arkansas. There's a cell out west of Mena that's coming together. We'll keep an eye for development that may occur in southeast Oklahoma. But there's your severe cell tonight until 8:45 p.m. Severe thunderstorm warning is in effect. I think that's Raj. Hey, Roger. You're just coming for something else? You can go grab Rolly and have him come in here. We'll find out what he's watching on TV. He can update me on the Razorback game as well. Huh?
I think it's 6-4 Arkansas.
In the baseball game or the softball game?
The softball game they won.
Yeah, they probably run rules. So the lady softball team is doing well.
Yeah.
Razorback baseball's up 6-4 on Tennessee. Fourth inning, they need to be up a lot more than that. Tennessee's got a good ball club. They got some good hitters. Arkansas's got some good hitters too. THV 11 Plus tonight. I thought while I was here, typically I'll go home and have dinner with my wife. I don't know, she might be watching, Leanne may be watching us tonight, but decided to stick around here because of the weather here tonight and hang out with you. Why not? Hey, there's Rolly Hoyt. What you doing, Rolly?
6-4.
You're watching the Knicks game, huh?
We got all kinds of things.
You got all kinds. You're having more fun than me, is what you're saying.
No, we're watching you as well.
Oh, okay.
You're doing a great job.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm just answering questions and keeping an eye on this line. And I think the good news right now is the line really hasn't. I think it hasn't reached its maximum potential. I'm not wanting it to. But we could have some wind with it and some hail, and the strongest storm is in Perry County. If it continues this track, it's going to drift into western Pulaski County sometime around 9 o'clock. So we got a ways to go with that line. On the northern extent of it, they're just strong cells. They're not severe cells at this time. And again, the strongest activity is well to our north. Let's run through everything once again tonight, and I will kind of give you the breakdown of what we're expecting severe weather-wise. We'll just reset things, go back up to the tornado watch that's in effect until 2 o'clock in the morning. That does include the Little Rock metro area, Pulaski County, but counties south of Pulaski are not in a watch. But the tornado watch does exist for all the counties you see here in Yella. And I think that the Scott, the Yell, the Pope, Van Buren, Stone, Izard, and Fulton counties, these counties are going to be the next ones that get taken out of the tornado watch. The cells are almost to the east of this area, although Fulton County still looks like they may have and it's in Sharp County. So Fulton County, the severe weather threat is coming to an end. Stone and Izard County, severe weather threat is coming to an end. Van Buren County, Clinton, good morning, or good afternoon, Clinton. I like old Clinton, Van Buren County. Now, Van Buren County itself, not quite finished yet. There's the line is in extreme southeastern Van Buren County. So Cleburne, Faulkner, that line is just northwest of you, Faulkner. Conway, Arkansas, not Conway County, but Conway, Arkansas. Conway County is just to the west, of course, Faulkner. Morrilton, that line is moving through you. I'm hopeful, keeping my fingers crossed. This line is not strengthening much anymore. That's some good news. But I'm not going to let my guard down, because when we do that, you know what happens, folks. But the strongest cell is now Perry County. It's just to the west of Perryville. But folks that live in Polk County, if you're watching us tonight on YouTube or Facebook Live, Johnson County, Logan County, not quite Yell just yet, not quite Scott, but those counties northwest of that line, yeah, you can see those counties of Scott County, Pope County. I would even venture to say Fulton, Stone and Izard County, even Van Buren County here within the next few minutes. The severe weather threat. That's really what people want to know more than anything else. What time is it going to hit me? Can I go to bed tonight? And is everything going to be okay? Yeah, everything's going to be fine. Just a little wind and a little hail tonight. Chris Banks is our digital supervisor tonight. If you have any more questions for me, Chris, I'm happy to answer them as we can. National Weather Service, go back to their page. I'm looking at a picture of hail in Danville. Quarter-sized or larger there in Danville. Some big hail fell there. And by the way, if you're watching us tonight, you want to be a THV 11 weather reporter, we have a Facebook page set up where you can be a weather reporter. Just go on and say, hey, we want to do it. Nathan Scott and myself will sign you up. And all you really have to do for us is be our eyes and ears in your community. Send us back photos from time to time that we can use on air of weather events or what's happening in your area. And tonight, if we have any weather reporters out there that are at home, that are kind of riding out the storms, and you live in Yell County, Perry County, we'd love to see your photos tonight of what's happening near you. Now, don't go outside in a hailstorm. Wait till the storm passes and get a chunk of that hail. And be sure you put something in reference to size of the hail. If you put 3 hailstones in your hand, how big is your hand? How small is your hand? Put one with a quarter or with a golf ball or a baseball, whatever you have that establishes the size of the hail for us. Golf ball sized hail measured at Pocahontas High School. That's in northeast Arkansas. So these storms are coming through with what they were supposed to come through with, and that's some large hail at this time. Storm Track 11. Let's take a look at that line once again as it continues to move to the southeast. Cells within the line with a bit of an east-southeast jog. Storm Track, there it is right there. Perryville is going to get a pretty good shot of that supercell there with some heavy rain and some wind. The box, the polygon, has shrunk quite a bit. That's the only severe cell that we have. It looked as if earlier tonight from Scott through Yell County, those storms are really coming into their own, and they've kind of fallen apart a bit, breaking apart a bit. And they don't appear to be maintaining their strength as they move into southern Cleburne County, over into Faulkner County. Let's hope that's the case tonight, and they don't re-strengthen. All right. Going to Mr. Banks here tonight, joining us on THV 11 Plus. And here in a moment, we'll be joined by Mr. Hoyt. Nats. THV 11 Plus, streaming a little weather for you tonight. Hopefully we can get most of this out of the way by 10 o'clock, and the 10 o'clock news will not be interrupted. But South Arkansas, we won't forget about you, that there's signs that these storms could die out before they make it into southeast Arkansas. Chris, let's keep it, or Roger, who's ever up on the board, keep it on Storm Track 11 for me for just a moment. I'm going to change platforms real quick, going from Max, a different vantage point of the severe weather. So I can, when I talk about the hail, I've got this handy dandy little sheet that shows you, how big certain objects are in comparison to hailstones. I want to get to that here in just a moment. And here we go. And also I want to show you another graphic that shows the potential for the size of hail tonight here at Arkansas. So here we go. Just takes a minute. Computers can be slow sometimes. We're working on it. There we go. Now you can go back to Max 1 and we can talk about this graphic. This is the hail size chart. So when we talk about pea-sized hail, it's about 1/4 of an inch. It's very small hail. Penny is 3/4 of an inch. But what makes a severe thunderstorm? A couple of criteria. Either 1 inch hail, which is the size of 1/4, or wind gusts of 58 plus miles per hour. Ping pong ball sized hail is 1.5 inches in diameter. Tonight, we're talking about the potential for baseball-sized hail at 2 3/4, and there even could be, if the storms strengthen and intensify, and become their maximum potential, there was the possibility of 4-inch hail. That's a big hail. That will certainly cause some problems. But that gives you an idea. This is what we'd like for you to do for us. Text your pictures our way to 501-376-1111 and compare. If you get hail at your house and you want to report it, we'd love to have it. Of course, you know, we give you credit, all the credit in the world for sending in your photos. Okay. Yeah, getting the questions about the timing of the storms tonight and where they're going to be coming into. So I'll go back to radar. Oh, you know, hail risk with radar. There we go. We'll talk about this. 8 o'clock tonight. So to match up the colors, where the storms occur tonight, 2-inch hail possible in that purple, that kind of that Barney-esque purple that we have. It's a little less in size the further north, but you've got a lot more energy here in southern and southwestern Arkansas. In fact, you could get larger hail in the Arklatex region. Let me walk you through the timing of the storms along with the potential for the larger hail. This is by 11 o'clock tonight. We begin to see those storms wind on down in southeast Arkansas, southern row or two of counties. So that's where we have the potential of the largest hail. The drier air moving into northwest and north central Arkansas. Take that hail parameter out of the way. We lose some of the energy, some of the CAPE, convective available potential energy. But then tomorrow we do the same thing all over again. Tomorrow afternoon and evening, another complex will move in out of Oklahoma in northeast Texas. That complex will have enough CAPE or storm fuel, and we could have more hail, at least the potential for getting some large hail there, 2 inches in diameter plus over the southern and southwestern part of the state. So that takes us through Saturday and even into Sunday. There is going to be the risk or the chance of strong to potentially severe thunderstorms. So there you go. That's our hail risk tonight. I'm going to take us back up to Max 1 on radar, and we'll take a look at that line. Wouldn't it be great if we could just get away with this line kind of falling apart? That'd be fantastic. Not having to worry about all the severe weather, or at least the threat of severe weather tonight. And there you go. The line is not nearly as prominent as it was, and I'm very thankful for that. I hope you're thankful for it as well. We still have the severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Perry County, a little sliver of western Pulaski, northern Saline, not quite there, Conway County. And look, they've taken it away. They're allowing it to expire, or they have expired it for tonight. Let me go see what the Weather Service says about this. Severe thunderstorm warning for Central Perry is canceled. Like that. That's fantastic news. Hopefully this, I'm going to keep this going here for another few minutes till 8:30. Jumped on with the warnings, thought we'd have a few more of those. And I'm okay if we pop out a little bit early tonight to get ready for the 10 o'clock news. But in terms of overall severe weather and warnings, what we have going on is in northeast Arkansas in a broken line. Now, the HER was indicating the line may break up a little bit as it moves into central Arkansas. Yeah, we probably will see some thunderstorms tonight as the line moves through, but they're not gaining strength as much as I thought they would. I think that they're actually weakening, which is some good news. Canceling the Perry County warning. Storms southwest are actually a little bit stronger. Okay, sub-severe. Small hail gusty winds of 40 to 50 are still possible. The storms in Scott County, I think the ones they're talking about tonight, those are a little bit stronger. But Pope County, Van Buren, Stone, Izard, Fulton counties, severe weather risk coming to an end for those folks tonight. The risk still continues for Polk, Montgomery, Garland, Saline, Pulaski, Lone Oak, and Prairie. This matches up. Let me pull on the tornado watch. Matches up with the tornado watch till 2 o'clock. The counties in yellow under the tornado watch, and that does include Lone Oak, Prairie, Monroe, over into eastern Arkansas. Clay? No, it's not Clay County. Cross. Yeah, Cross and Poinsett counties. There you go. Okay, good. And yes, we have a map. I do look at a map on occasion. Kind of have to. But it's a thin band of storms now. that is drifting slowly to the southeast. There have been a couple of severe cells within that line. They have kind of weakened. I think we're losing the daytime energy that was built up over the day. And I'll call it this, call it good news. 8:24 tonight. Severe weather risk is still there for all of Arkansas. In fact, I'm going to run you through things. There's a current visible satellite. And since the sun's setting, you really can't see much of the cloud cover, but the front has pushed through Mountain Home down to Russellville, and it's just north of Mena. The risk of severe weather has been adjusted by the National Weather Service, really. They brought the enhanced risk down into the Little Rock area, all the way through. And I think that's because of the tornado watch. But the risk of severe weather in northwest Arkansas has come to an end. It's still a 4 out of 5 in northeast Arkansas. Storms Prediction Center updates the outlooks a few times during the day. There'll be another update, if not tonight, to correspond with the scaling back of the watch. Then tomorrow morning, early in the morning, a little after 1 o'clock in the morning, they'll have another risk looking ahead to the next day. So with that in mind, here we go. The risk of a tornado went up a little bit here in the Little Rock area. Interesting. Excuse me. Grab a little drink of water. So that's changed. Hail up to quarter-sized or even larger. In the orange area, the hatched marks indicate significant hail within 25 miles of a point, and the winds possibly up to 80 miles per hour. Unless I'm missing something here, I don't see that transpiring, but we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. I've been wrong before. I'm a weatherman, right? Weathermen are wrong sometimes. Severe weather is Saturday once again for a good part of the state. Hail, damaging winds, tornado threat remains low. And then Sunday, there's another risk of severe weather, and that is for a good part of Arkansas. That's a low-end risk, a marginal threat of severe weather for the state. And there's our current surface map and current surface situation with our cool front and storms lining up along that cool front. North of the boundary, things have settled down quite a bit. Here's what future radar looks like. This is the high-res rapid refresh model for 8 o'clock, for 9 o'clock. It's okay. I was working off of that. Oh, you know, I'm coffee. Okay. And I just lost the her. Where did it go? Give me just a second. I think Nathan piped in on Max too. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's him. Piped in there. All right. Looking at the line. Okay, back to, the graph is just too fast with it. Too fast with the line. The her a little more responsible with the timing and placement of that line. But 10, 11 o'clock tonight, that's how the storms will linger in southeast Arkansas. They'll be pushing out of the way. All right. And then tomorrow we replay it all over once again. THV 11 Plus, we have a tornado watch until 2 o'clock in the morning. We'll see if that actually holds true. A severe thunderstorm warning has now been issued for Saline, Perry, Faulkner, and Pulaski County. And I'm going to show you that box here in just a moment. That just came down a minute or two ago. That does include downtown Little Rock. So we'll keep it here until that box, or until that storm gets on through here in Little Rock Metro. Here's what it looks like on Max 1. The main threat tonight with this is going to be some large hail. Let me show you that. And there you go. The hail's not that impressive. Winds of 60 plus miles per hour. That is also a consideration with the within that polygon. So you've got more of northern Saline County, the western half of Pulaski, which takes us up to the 430 split in western Pulaski County, and also Perry County, little part of southern Faulkner County. But on either side of that, the storms are just not that impressive. Okay. Just got a call from Weather Call. I told you about Weather Call a few minutes ago. I have the service, and it's alerting me that I'm in the path of this severe thunderstorm as it moves to the south and east. Let me put a little track on it here. Movement to the east at 35. Okay. I got to go back in. Hold on a second. Nope, still there. Okay. There are the locations in the path of this severe thunderstorm as it moves to the east-southeast. By 8:33, Nimrod, Hollis, Cherry Hill, Williams Junction, Perrin in Perry County, 9:09, Y at 9:15, Maumelle at 9:39. So a good 40 minutes before this cell manages to make it into Maumelle. We'll see how that holds up. Thank you for joining us again tonight. For those of you that are streaming with us on THV 11 Plus, Tom Brannon in tonight. And just kind of tracking these storms. Hopefully you're having a good night tonight. These storms will be moving through in the next couple of 3 hours, and once the storms move through your area, if you're getting or if you're impacted by these storms, once they move through, then the risk of severe weather will come to an end for you tonight. Southwest Perry County a little bit stronger. Okay. 1-inch hail is a possibility. Okay, let's go back over to Storm Track 11 and let me turn on our hail product, and we'll see what kind of hail, if anything, is out there in there. There you go, Perry County, near Hollis, Arkansas. Pretty good bump of hail there. That would be in the 1 to 1.5 inch sized hail in diameter. And notice the yellow boxes are polygon. You got western Pulaski County, southern parts of Faulkner, Perry in northern Saline. Put it into motion. I think it's been holding together. There you go. So one core dies out, the next core holds together and moves on in. That's hail tonight. Not looking at much in the way of any rotation. These storms will produce some strong straight line wind gusts and a little bit of hail. And base reflectivity shows you where the heavy rainfall is. And you get into that purple area, that's more than likely where we're seeing hail, not quite 2-inch hail out of that area. So from Perry to Perryville, you've got Applin, Arkansas, over to and north of Hollis. That's where we're getting the strong thunderstorm, the strong to severe thunderstorm. Hey, Raj, why don't we take a look outside at our camera outside, see if we can pick up some lightning with this cell as it gets a little bit closer to us. Strong thunderstorm and capable of producing some 1-inch hail, folks. We'll go back to Echo Tops. There it is. There we go. The sun has set. It's getting darker outside, but it was just a very muggy day today. It was kind of hazy, muggy, humid. It was hot today. Yeah, kind of reminded you more of a summer-like day than anything spring-like. I'm not seeing any lightning. Maybe the storm's still a little bit too far away from us. But it is getting closer to northern Pulaski County. You're going to get a pretty good gush of wind as the storm moves through your area. Put it back into motion. There we go. There's that warning, the polygon on Storm Track 11. Okay. Extending into Pulaski County. So the next update that we get, so there's plenty of time here. If you got outdoor events going on, maybe you're out back, out in the backyard doing some things, going to come in. Might be time to come on in as those storms get a little bit closer. There's Perry County, northern Saline, western Pulaski County, our severe thunderstorm polygon. Okay. And just to update you on the other warnings, severe thunderstorm warning continues for Lawrence and Randolph counties in northeast Arkansas to go along with the Saline, the Perry, Faulkner, and Pulaski County severe warned area that's warned with a severe thunderstorm warning. But overall, severe weather threat tonight with that line of storms. That's our primary concern. Northeast Arkansas has and they're more intense in northeast Arkansas, has a little bit more of the prime parameters to work with, a little bit more wind shear and instability. So this is where you're finding the threat of some stronger storms in northeast Arkansas. In central Arkansas, with that line moving through, it's a big hail and damaging wind threat. I know how folks get afraid of thunderstorms or afraid of animals are afraid, kids are afraid, heck, adults are even afraid. We get questions all the time about the weather and about storms and them moving through and the timing and when can they go to bed. These aren't too terribly bad, although the storm is severe, could produce 1-inch hail. I'm going to keep an eye on the camera, get a little lightning. We'll take that camera shot here in a few minutes once that storm gets a little bit closer. All right, let me do a 1-hour loop on this. There we go. Just moving along, slow moving line of storms that developed just after 6:30 tonight while we were doing the news. We could see it all kind of coming together. The cap broke tonight, and once the cap breaks, things escalated fairly quickly. But just one severe thunderstorm warning right now, and that is in Perry County. It extends into northern Saline County. The cell's getting ready to push into northern Saline County, then will eventually move into western Pulaski County. I thought if the cell weakened and they didn't reissue the warning, then I would just get off of THV 11 Plus, let you get back to your day. But we'll hang here since Pulaski County is now under a warning, and it's a fairly large metropolitan area. Conway is not in the severe thunderstorm warning. Perryville is. Benton, north of you, it looks like it's more Ferndale, Salem, which is in Saline County, Ferndale and western Pulaski County. And again, our main threat tonight is going to be large hail. And the size that we're looking at right now is, oh, come on now, in Perry County. I mean, it's not as big as it could be, I guess. It's not as large. I'm looking at the wrong platform here. Let me pull this up. There we go. Okay. Severe thunderstorm warning continues for Perry, Saline, and western Pulaski County. THV 11 Plus. I'm going to put it back on the loop tonight. Yeah, for this broken line of storms, it's kind of falling apart there north of Conway. Keep it going, keep falling apart. It's maintaining its strength over Montgomery County, north of Montgomery County, Yale County, Scott, and Polk counties. So it's maintaining in those areas. A little sip of something to drink real quick. Well, the storm tops about 35,000 feet, a little more than 35,000 feet. It was a bit stronger. Now those tops have come down, so some weakening. All right. Well, I hope you guys have had a good Friday night. Hope everybody is staying safe out there tonight. Did the cloud cover help us? Okay. You know, it may have helped a little bit, but overall today we had a cap on the atmosphere that may have helped to inhibit some of these thunderstorms, but eventually the cap was going to lose out. It was just a matter of time. Yeah, Jacksonville okay tonight, worried about tornadoes. You know, we're under a tornado watch in Pulaski County. I'm not going to say no or not with the watch in effect. I'll say that the greatest concern or greatest threat is well to the north of us, northeast Arkansas. But there's still some parameter there. I guess we have just enough wind shear that if these storms were to strengthen and become, you know, single, get off on their own, supercellular, then they could. Can we get Tom some pizza? Yeah. No, not doing that again, folks. Not eating on the air. Tell you what, it's just a funny sidebar with eating. Whenever I MC events, I don't eat. I don't eat when I have to talk because I can't get it. You know, you get that feeling in the back of your throat. You just can't get it out of the back of your throat, and you're always kind of coughing up stuff. So no more eating. I'll drink. Got water, got a little coffee. Coffee keeps me going. What I need is a cat. What I need is Nathan Scott to bring his cat up here. His cat went viral. It was fantastic. All right. Anything from North Little Rock? Well, North Little Rock, part of North Little Rock is under this severe thunderstorm warning with this line. I can tell you that it's going to be moving in here by 9 o'clock if it can hold together. The strongest part of the cell, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more. Keep it on max 1. This is our 1 hour radar loop. Let me show you what's going on here. This cell is in central Perry County. The next stop is going to be western Pulaski County and northern Saline County. We're going to get a good wind gust out of it, possibly upwards of about 60 miles per hour, and there could be some hail with it. I'm going to put us back on live radar mode so I can show you, so we can update the hail core on this. Let's see if there's any hail. There's a little bit of hail with it. In terms of any rotation, any threat of, I don't see that more than I see maybe a gush of some straight line winds, 30, 40, 50 mile per hour wind gust. I'm not seeing any rotation. That's certainly some good news, but there is an updraft there, otherwise we wouldn't have hail. And the hail core is out in that bright blue area. Right there is the blue. Now look, when I go back to live winds, this is more than likely where we're finding the strongest straight line winds as well within that storm. Hail now. Okay. So anywhere in that orange polygon, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning. I was checking checking the phone, getting a few messages here and there. Let me do this. Keep it. Let's go to max. Let's go to max 2 and update that tornado watch while I pull something up real quick. I do want to bring in weather call. This is just a great way to stay up to date. There's max 2 in your tornado watch tonight. I know a lot of you are afraid of weather overnight. I don't like it when it comes in overnight. I tell you why I don't like it, because it means we're up till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, it also means you're up till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, right? Tornado watch till 2 a.m. We'll see if that's the case. We're going to see a few more counties get dropped here shortly as the severe weather threat has come to an end for a lot of those counties. Now, if you are afraid of storms, this is my best pitch on this. This is a service. About a year ago, we picked it up that calls you when severe thunderstorm warnings happen at night or tornado warnings. It actually will call you during the day as well, but I think it's most useful at night. It will call your cell phone, it will call your home phone. And all you have to do, if you want some more information about it, is text the word CALL. CALL to 501-376-1111. It'll take you to a web page, and you can kind of peruse the page and get more information about weather call, what it does. My voice is going to be attached to the warning, so you'll get a call. It'll say, hey, this is Meteorologist Tom Brannon. You're under a severe thunderstorm warning. Take cover immediately. Or tornado warning. And there's various stages in this. If there's a confirmed tornado warning, it's a little more serious. It's precise technology. We have those polygons that we talk about, and it's not going to waste your time. Sometimes tornado warnings happen, Pulaski County, for example. Maybe it's just in western Pulaski County, not the rest of Pulaski County. You live within western Pulaski County, you're under a tornado warning. It's going to alert you, but it's not going to alert the people that live east of you that are not in the polygon. So it utilizes that technology that is very precise. And I like to say it's just another layer of severe weather protection to go along with your NOAA weather radios. I know your phones have mechanisms too that will produce tones whenever warnings are issued. This will also help you. There's a little charge with it. It's like $1 a month. I don't see any of it. It's just a service. But text the word CALL to 501-376-1111. I've got it on my phone. I've been getting the messages. When that warning went out for western Pulaski County, I got a call immediately from Weather Call. So it gives you time to take shelter. Okay? There. That's what I wanted to show you. That's on max 1. We can keep it on max 1 because the next graphic up is our tornado watch page. And the eastern and central part of the state under a watch until 2 o'clock in the morning, although I will say that the risk of severe weather is winding down for places like Pope County, for Stone, Izard, and Fulton counties. Got a little bit longer to go there for Scott County. So tornado watch means really that the ingredients are there. All the parameters are there, but we've been fighting this cap today. The cap has been eroding here in central Arkansas. It may still be holding steady in some places or holding strong. And if that's the case, then these storms are hitting the cap and they're dying out. But the strongest storms that we have right now are in Perry County. And honestly, maybe if it's come down a little tick. Let me see. It's moving. Well, it's gone back up. It's going to move just to the south. The strongest cell, we can go back to Storm Track 11, and a new warning just came down for a cell that's, I'm going to get to that one in a moment. Perry County, northern Saline, Pulaski County. And in terms of hail and damaging wind, yeah, there's a pretty good little hail core there that's now down to the south of Perryville and also south of Hollis. And they put a little motion to it. You can follow it into Perry County. So it's holding together. The next cell that's over here in southern Yell County that's prompted a new warning for Yell, for Garland and Montgomery counties. Now that's got a pretty big area of hail that's north of Odin, Arkansas. This is what it looks like on our base reflectivity. And there's a little bit of an appendage there that's to the southwest of Onyx, but it could just be a very strong updraft. The cells are individual, they're broken apart from the line, but they are holding together. Whoops, I need to do that. There's Storm Track 11. Let me put it into motion for you. Okay. Anything in North Little Rock? Not yet. Will it be in BB? BB and Searcy. BB and Searcy, White County. It's got a little while to go. 10, 11 o'clock tonight. And I'll tell you this, going back and looking at White County, the storms that are moving into White County, northern White County, they're falling apart. They're not nearly as strong. It was just a question. If you have a question, what you do is put it on YouTube or Facebook, and Chris Banks, our digital guru, will send that over to me. If you live in White County, the question is, what time will it be there? Well, notice those storms in Faulkner County falling apart a bit. Now, the storm in southern Cleburne County is coming back up a notch, and it's going to move through northern White County. I would give this another couple of hours. The severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for Pulaski County, why is that doing that? That's going to be moving into downtown Little Rock, 9:15, 9:20 or so, if it can hold together. So there you go. BB in Searcy, if it holds together, give it about another hour if it holds together. Okay? Hey, there's Faith. You want to come play?
I can play.
Well, why don't you go?
You want me to come play?
Well, you go put a microphone on and you come join me. It's a free-for-all. While Rolly's watching the Knicks or hockey, you can come in here and we can talk.
Okay.
Chris Banks is pulling up. My plan was to work our way through this severe weather threat on THV 11 Plus. It would take us up to 10 o'clock if those warnings hold together. Well, the warning did hold together for central Arkansas. Now another warning has been issued, and that's a severe thunderstorm warning for Yell, Saline, Perry, Montgomery, Garland, and Scott counties. And that warning is for 1-inch hail. 6 miles to the north of Odin. Yeah, saw that. Okay. And the moving to the east-southeast. And the main threat is 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. I'm looking for 35 miles per hour. Moving east at 35. Matches up with the polygon. Right here, that's this one right here. You got a little bit of Scott County here. Here's Yell County, Perry. So it's covering up a pretty good shot there, pretty good swath. Garland County, Montgomery County, extends into Saline County. National Weather Service has adjusted that polygon in Perry County now. Almost seeing an end to severe weather for Yell and for Scott. Just got a little bit here in southern Yell County that we are keeping a close eye on tonight. Get out of my coffee. Man. Ah. Well. So much for the go-go juice tonight, huh, folks? Have you folks seen all the gnats? I had to call a service out to put down some napalm at my house. It's just gnats all over the place. I know you don't want to hear that. We're talking weather tonight. I get it. I get it. We're just talking. Severe thunderstorm warning continues for Perry County to Pulaski County. If you live in Perryville, you're getting some very heavy rain, possibly some wind right now. Southern and central Perry County. This is going to drift into western Pulaski County. Here's western Pulaski, northern Saline, and these are the counties, or the warnings that were just issued a few short minutes ago. And these are the only warnings we have in central Arkansas. Northeast Arkansas, things might be getting a little bit better. Just a persistent area there north of Paragould up here in northeast Arkansas. This has been back building toward Lawrence County. Little cell there moving through northern White, non-severe cell. This was pretty strong moving through Batesville. I would have imagined that cell would have managed to find some better fuel to hold together, but that hasn't been the case tonight near Jonesboro. So the line is breaking apart a bit, and here very soon we're going to see an update to our forecast models. I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to pull up one of our models, the HER model, and see where we are. Yeah, it's going through its changes right now and see what it says and see if there's anything new. Faith's coming over. You are here? Come on over and join me. You can be all right. We can visit together.
Okay.
Faith Woodard, ladies and gentlemen, joining us tonight. Where'd we have dinner, Faith?
Chipotle.
What is it with you and Chipotle?
I love Chipotle, but when you said that, what time we were starting and kicking things off, I was like, okay, hurry up with that order so I can get back and help you. So
yeah, I do want to point something out for those of you watching that we're on YouTube, Facebook Live, and THV 11 Plus is the main channel.
Yeah.
When I stand next to Faith on the news desk, and I don't mind, this is just one of those things. Faith is really tall.
I am.
Girl played basketball back in college.
Yeah. Tom, he usually stands.
I stand on a box.
He stands on a box, but I gotta tell people that, Tom.
It's
you
okay.
Our business out here.
It's all right. There we go. It's going to make me feel so much better about myself. There we go.
That's good.
And those of you that have watched me, that have known me a while, I do have a sense of humor. It's okay. I can laugh at myself on that. There was a time, Faith, I was shorter than every news anchor in this building.
We have some tall people here. Roland's pretty tall.
Roland's pretty tall. Nathan's
Nathan's really tall.
6'3", 6'4".
Yeah, we
Carter
have some tall
Thweet
people.
is like 8 foot tall.
Yeah.
Adam Bledsoe is 6'5" at least. I don't know what happened to me.
You know what? But you got heart, Tom. You have the heart of the station. There you go.
I don't know about that.
We love that.
Yeah. Tonight, just like I said, we're just hanging out with you tonight. Mm-hmm. Somebody get this man a backup coffee. Yeah, gnats. I don't know if you heard me talking about the gnats. He's doing the backstroke in my coffee.
When you leave the stuff around, the gnats
and the
here.
flies, we can't figure out where they're coming in from. We don't go out nearly as much as we used to.
Yeah.
We
Maybe
just need to
the weather garden is right there, and we open and close the door. Maybe they just have like a little.
Plus, we have a pond out in the garden.
So I'll look at social media and stuff to see if I can find some pictures. It seems like it's pretty not active right now, at least.
It's not as active as I thought it was going to be, because when those storms they started to take off during the 6 o'clock news, and here about an hour ago. They had a nice line, and now they're kind of breaking apart, and some of them are holding together, but most of the storms have weakened. I'll take it. I don't want to be here till 3 o'clock in the morning.
We don't like the wall to wall where you guys are here until 2 or 3 in the morning.
Well, when they kicked out the watch until 2 o'clock in the morning, and tornado watch till 2, are they seeing something I'm not seeing? Because all of our local models that we use, the high-res models, are indicating this stuff's going to be out here a lot sooner. Stuttgart's.
Is there a place on, particularly for social media, you want me to scour, see if anyone's seeing anything?
We have our THV 11. Are you a weather reporter? Did you sign up to be a THV 11
weather reporter?
For
the new thing we were doing, yes.
Yeah, there might be something there on the weather reporter page.
Okay.
But there may not be. These storms are they might produce a little hail.
Okay.
Yeah. I hope they continue to trend downward. I do want to point out, though, and go back to what's going on in the Little Rock area real quick. You didn't have to leave.
Okay, I'll come back
it's
over
all
here.
Right. I can motion and look. What Roger can do, or Chris, whoever's up in the booth, he can take it full, and we can talk about the storms that are getting closer to Pulaski County. And I tell you, I can't see a thing. The storm is beginning to edge into northwestern Pulaski County. And you've got, if you can put it up behind me as well as on the screen there, that would be great. If we can, they're working. There we go. There could be some hail, 1-inch hail possibly. Bigelow getting some heavy rain and some wind right now. That's Perry County. Here's Faulkner County. Faulkner County is for the most part, Conway, a little bit of light rain. The storm's just, it's not not that great. I mean, I'm okay with that. The stronger storm appears to be to the southwest of it, and those storms lining up in Montgomery County. I'm gonna move that out of the way. Move the box. Get out of the way, box. Now watch, I'll trip over it on the way to the weather wall. Near Sims and Story, that's a pretty formidable. You see that purple area there, the reflectivity color. That also is going to match up with the hail near Sims, Arkansas, and that is about 1.5 inch hail if it's reaching the ground. Now it might be that big in the cloud, but as it drops to the ground, it may melt just a little bit. So one thing that's coming to fruition with the storms is that they do have some hail with them tonight.
Yeah. Hail is what I worry about a little bit, because at least here at THV 11, we don't have the covered parking lot or anything. And so whenever we talk hail, that's when I worry, because I'm like, ugh.
And ain't no joke. I was thinking the same thing you were thinking of, is that unfortunately we don't have, unless we back out one of the news vehicles from the awnings that we have out in the parking lot, then we won't make Eric very happy if we did that.
But it's a very real concern for people, who don't have the covered, garages and stuff. When there's hail, it's just better have your insurance ready. So, yeah.
Severe thunderstorm warnings canceled for Scott County, but continues for Yell, Saline, Perry, Montgomery, and Garland County. This warning continues tonight. Let's see, until, gosh, that's the watch until 2 a.m. 9:15, 9:30. Those are the warnings that are in effect. All I had to do is look over at Max 1. Let's go back to Max 1. Chris, Roger, thank you very much. This gives you a better vantage point of where we are in central Arkansas. Storms are getting closer to central Arkansas. They're a little stronger, I think, over towards southern Yell County and Montgomery County. And I'm watching to see, Faith, if we can pick up some lightning off our camera. We're shooting toward the northwest with that thunderstorm that line of storms that is getting a little bit closer. Let me turn the lightning on here. And there's some lightning there.
We're faring pretty well, though.
Faring pretty well.
Yeah. I thought we were, but that's a good thing. That's a good thing, because on busy days and active days, you guys are put to work. So we'll take the lighter day. We don't say the Q word around here.
No, the word quiet instills fear.
We don't say that.
Don't say the Q word.
But we're doing pretty good. So it doesn't look like too much lightning out there, but maybe some. But we're doing pretty good out there. So.
And this warning for Faulkner, for Saline and Pulaski County could have nickel-sized hail with it, plus wind gusts of 60. That's the northern cell. There's 2 boxes. Those are the 2 warnings that we have. They're getting closer to central Arkansas. I know that Yell County would love to see their severe weather threat come to an end. Here's Danville. Line is moving to the southeast. The cells within the line are moving to the east at 35 miles per hour, getting closer to western Pulaski County. Hail is a concern, but what the parameters we were looking at earlier today indicated the hailstones could be as big as 4 inches.
Oh.
That's softball-sized hail.
That is, goodness.
2 3/4 inch hail is baseball-sized hail.
Oh, no.
That's going to mess up your car.
Yeah, could you imagine that smacking our cars? Oh, Tom, no.
Yeah, I mean, they'd probably just total mine out. And I'd have to go. I'd have to Uber to work.
Yeah.
That's that in hailstones that large will penetrate roofing on a house. Usually
some damage for sure.
If you have 1 or 2 stones that are quarter-sized or golf ball sized, then it's localized. But when these things come out of a cloud, what goes up comes down. And when these hailstones, it takes a big updraft. They go back up into the cloud. They get liquid that adheres to the stone, and then it comes back down, gets picked back up by the updraft, goes through a cycle.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Until it gets too big for the updraft. And then it just falls out of the cloud.
Okay, got it.
So you see a lot of the smaller, the pea and the nickel-sized or the dime-sized hail. But when you start seeing these chunks of hail, chunks of ice, the spiky chunks of ice, you've got a really strong updraft that takes it all the way up to the top of that cloud. And when it's up there, it's going to come down 70, 80 miles per hour.
Now, is there, because, being from Florida, I've only seen hail 1 or 2 times being in Florida, we didn't have it as much as we have it here. Here, it's
Yeah.
much more active. So I'm like, is
Yeah.
there a reasoning for that, or is it just kind
Well,
of?
I think that Florida's in line to get more lightning.
Yeah.
You know, you've
we're
got-
a lightning capital in Tampa.
Yeah, Florida's lightning capital. Colorado, the Rockies, they have more hail than anyone else. Cold air loft, and there's that gnat again.
I know, gnats and
goodness.
flies in here.
So if I'm swatting, it's I'm swatting at a
He's
bug.
not telling me to go away.
Right. So with that in Florida, it's really cool. What I like when we go take our little beach vacation, make sure we're not in trouble there. I love the sea breeze. And so when you have an Atlantic coast breeze mixing up with your Gulf Coast breeze, they come together. Yeah, that's really cool. But you just have a lot of lightning in Florida. It's really cool unless you're out on the beach. And I've seen people stay out on the beach and play volleyball in a lightning storm. I don't understand that.
Floridians are a little different. We don't really adhere to severe weather like we should, but I'm very happy that Arkansans are different. And you guys pay attention when Tom and Nathan and Tracy get to talking.
I'm going to tell you what these Arkansans do. I am an Arkansan, and I tell you, tornado warning has been issued for X. What's the first thing an Arkansan's going to do? They're going to walk out on their back porch and they're going to look for it. One of the last events that we had, we were seeing all these pictures on Facebook of some of the crazy things. I think the people that were wakeboarding in Jacksonville in the flooding rains, they must have been from Florida.
Yeah, they were certainly acting like it, because that was, I almost thought it was AI for a minute. I was like, is this real? And
unless you're familiar with that, you don't know if there's a tree there or a street sign or whatever, but yeah, most of the folks I know here in Arkansas, and it's an endearing thing. I wish they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
They want to go out back and look up in the sky instead of,
yeah,
there it is. It's coming our
know.
way. So you never know. Sometimes it could be right on top of you.
Yeah.
A lot of it, too, is when these warnings are issued and we go to a street level, we say, all right, so the rotation is located X. That's a minute ago or 2 minutes ago. It could be up the road a little bit more. So that's the danger in that. Well, tonight, Faith, it's windy thunderstorms. This is how slow they're moving. Okay, it's almost through Perry County. A little bit of a snippet of it there is going to graze Conway in southern Faulkner County, and they're not in the warning. But Pulaski, western Pulaski County is in the warning, and Garland County. This is just not moving. It's sitting over Danville. So that becomes a recipe for heavy rain and some localized flooding in Yell County, Montgomery County, over toward Polk County and Mena. I have not seen any new warnings come about. In fact, if we want to, I don't know why that's doing that. It keeps moving my bug. I can show you what is falling from it. If we go back Storm Track 11, we're talking about hail and wind. Well, on Storm Track 11, you will see the hail. Oh, wait a minute. That's that right there. We'll look at, there it goes. Now they're punching around up there. Yeah, that's fine, Chris. You're good. These areas of hail, not big hail, could be around 3/4 of an inch up in the cloud, hits the ground. It may melt a little bit, but there's pockets of hail there. You've got hail in Montgomery County.
Now, with 3/4 of an inch, will that do damage to cars?
Well, if it comes down at a good rate, it could put some small dings. You get up to the golf ball size stuff.
Yeah.
That's gonna mess up a car.
Yeah.
And it could mess up a roof.
I have the
if it
little
comes down.
dings on my car, from hail damage, and so that's never fun. But I'd much rather take that than the golf ball size hail.
You can go back to Max 1, Chris. Thank you, Chris. Chris Cohn is up in the booth for us tonight, helping us out. So what I'm seeing here is that there's not much going on between Conway and, let's say, Newport. There's one little cell there. Most everything we have is now in central Arkansas and west central Arkansas. Can't explain why. It could be a stronger cap here in east central Arkansas, where they have the greater tornado threat. Storms have been ongoing in northeast Arkansas. It could be that they may redevelop a little bit later tonight. But the frontal boundary is our lifting mechanism. There's an upper level trough to our north that's actually helping to push that front along. The front's going to settle over southern Arkansas by early tomorrow morning. Nathan Scott's going to be in tomorrow. You want to have, listen, if you've never seen a morning show with Nathan on it,
the best.
Simone is off this weekend, so Nathan has Saturday and I have Sunday. And since I'm the boss, he gets to get up Saturday morning. Not me.
He's probably watching this being Tom.
He's talking, well, you should be doing this. Anyway, so Nathan tomorrow morning get up. You can tell the man does not agree with mornings.
Yeah.
Typically, mornings don't agree with someone, but he doesn't agree with, it's the other way around with him. But he's a trooper, and he's a lot of fun to watch. He just doesn't know that. He's by the book, very serious about what he does, takes his job seriously, which we really appreciate, but he can have fun when he lets himself have fun. So he's tomorrow. He'll have the latest on the Saturday round that's coming up tomorrow night. I think I just got a text from him. Let's see.
Probably being like, you hush.
Yeah, that's what he's going to say.
You stop talking about me.
Oh, no, it's just, I get these updates on my phone. My daughter goes to school in Conway, and I'm getting an alert from the school that says a tornado watch is in effect.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
At
it's
least
been in
it's
effect for a
working.
while.
And
yeah.
They're a little behind. That's why you got to download THV 11 Plus in the app to stay up to date and follow Tom on social media so you get the latest updates. So,
and this is some good news. 9:04 and the National Weather Service is going to start shaving counties off the tornado watch.
Yeah.
Here within the next half
That's
hour
good
or so.
news, because I was pretty fearful for you, Tom. I was like, I hope you don't have another busy night, but yeah. But how are we faring? When it comes to severe weather season overall, are we seeing a lot of activity? Not a lot.
I would say that from the number of severe weather events, it's been a little bit above average. Our tornado count in Arkansas is usually 39 a year, 37, 39 a year. We're already over 30 tornadoes. And unfortunately, it's been Northeast and East Arkansas that have had the brunt of the tornadoes. And so when the severe weather likelihood comes out from the Storms Prediction Center, and you see they got a big bullseye on top of them again, you're like, man, those folks just can't catch a break.
Yeah.
And I think it moves around every year. It's a different place. And last year at this time, it was Northwest Arkansas. Scott Covert left morning duties here, went up to be the chief at KFSM, and stepped into a big tornado that moved through the northern couple of rows of counties.
That's never fun.
I don't know if Scott's up watching tonight. He's probably getting ready for his 10 o'clock newscast, but it's a good thing that they got a little bit of a break in Northwest Arkansas tonight. So you got the Razorback lady softball, got the regional, got the guys playing baseball. So they get a break, but we have to keep an eye on things here for tonight. But they have more severe weather coming their way.
Yeah.
He's just, he's probably wondering, what have I done? it followed you, Scott.
Yeah.
How about that?
Oh, goodness.
I left and came back after 3 years. We hadn't had any snow. 3 years I left, we didn't get any snow. I come back and we had that big snow event.
Yeah.
In a week, we had 21
they
inches.
just want to, it's people wanting to tune in because you do such a good job. So I think the universe and the weather gods just said, let me throw Tom a bone right here. So.
Yeah. Well, I like snow. I like to play in snow.
Yeah.
I don't like to drive in snow. And
I know.
I
like the look of it, but I don't like driving in it. And especially when it sticks in the black ice, that's what makes me a little uncomfortable. So I'm not a fan of that. So.
Driving in it, and when you get stuck here for a couple of 3 days.
Yeah.
I live, western Little Rock. There's a lot of hills, and getting up one particular hill in my neighborhood is cause for concern. I could probably get down it, but not get back up it.
Yeah.
And so it's just better to take a flat road downtown Little Rock and find a place to stay.
Especially when we're here overnight or late at night, the refreeze is kind of what gets us.
Okay.
That kind of makes us, a little vulnerable. But we did okay, I guess, this winter. It wasn't too bad, I would say.
No, we did have one big snow.
Yeah.
And it did not last long. Some good news from the National Weather Service. They're probably going to let this severe thunderstorm warning expire and put out with a special weather statement on it. So that's a step down from a severe thunderstorm warning. So this warning is going to expire, and the storms out over Garland and Montgomery counties, that's going to maintain. But here in the metro area, we'll look for that storm. It looks like it might be weakening a bit, or at least has shown some signs of not strengthening, surely. But so be looking for that to go away, at least the warning on that.
And it looks like it's sticking around in this area. It's just hovering a little bit.
You ever thought about being a meteorologist?
Tom, I would not do a good job.
I bet you would. Sure
I'd
you
be
would.
like, look at all these colors right over here.
Well, you have to go to radar school, reflectivity colors.
Math and science
No.
was not my forte. I am a communicator and a writer.
There
but
you go.
Math and science, not for me. But I'm very entertained, and you know, I love when you guys do break it down on a scientific level because it helps us understand. And when you guys explain radar and, you know, different things like that, I definitely appreciate it.
You know, one of the things that on a night like tonight, if you have the supercell thunderstorms, we talk about, you know, the couplets, the colors, the blues and the reds, where they're coming together tightly. You know, you've got winds blowing toward radar, winds blowing away from radar. You kind of get the idea. Having done this a lot, you know, over the years, you try to present it in a way where, you know, a third grader could understand it, or a fourth grader.
That's what I need.
Because sometimes when you start slapping stuff up on a screen, what does it mean? So yeah, we try to break it down, or at least we try to simplify it the best that we can. I'm not saying a lot of you aren't smart, because there's a lot of smart people out there, and after a few times you go, oh yeah, well yeah, that's the couplet, there's the rotation.
You guys have taught me quite a bit, because if you asked me a couple years ago what a shelf cloud was, I wouldn't have been able to tell you.
Now, I tell you, those are cool features. I don't like the strong winds that come with them, but they're really cool to look at when they come into play.
Yeah, you guys break it down on a level that people can understand, and we definitely appreciate it. So
sure thing. So we still have the severe thunderstorm warning for central Arkansas, for the metro area. That's what we're looking at right here. That's Perry, and it's down western Pulaski County. The northern extent of it is in Conway. Heavy rain, some wind, but they're going to let the severe part of it expire. We'll shift our focus out over Garland County, Hot Springs, otherwise known as Rowleyville.
I know. They always have some activity in Hot Springs. I feel like they just get the brunt of, you know, some of the activity before it comes into our way.
Let's see what's going on at home. We'll see if we have any hail. It could be that they're thinking about letting it expire because there's not really a big, at least a hail core that would equal severe criteria. 1 inch hail or quarter-sized hail is one. 58 mile per hour winds or the other. It could be one or the other or both. And then you have these levels when you start breaking down severe thunderstorms. It can be considerable when you get large hail. So tonight it's just been run-of-the-mill severe thunderstorm warning so far, with hail the size of quarters, maybe even a little bit larger than that. And that's what we're looking at with these polygons. That's that could have quarter-sized hail north of Lake Ouachita in extreme northern Garland County. This cell's having a hard time maintaining its strength.
Well, definitely send us some pictures. You know, if you guys are seeing something out there, you guys remember our eyes and ears. So if you are seeing anything, definitely send it over to us and make sure we see it, because we would love to know what's going on in your neck of the woods. So
yeah, and that warning expires at 9:15, 3 minutes away from that, and then 9:30 for this cell in northern Garland County. Go back to our live radar mode there. I've been watching my phone to see if Nathan's watching. He's probably watching.
Nathan is probably watching reality TV right now or something. He loves his reality TV, him and Mary. So that's probably what they're doing.
That, or he said he probably wasn't going to be able to sleep much tonight. It's hard to adjust your schedule when you work, you know, a certain time during the day, but then you have to force yourself to go to bed at a decent hour to get up and come in and track weather.
I am not a morning person. Like for the last couple of years, I've been in the evenings, and really for like the past 6 years. So, you know, I really don't go to sleep until about 2:30 every night. So
I did it for 22 years. Where I got up at 2:30 in the morning.
That's the time I go to sleep.
It's I'm usually up every morning about 6:30.
Have you adjusted though to the evening shift? And like, I know because you've been evenings for a little while now, but do you still wake up pretty early, you think?
Yeah, I do.
That's a long time to be in the mornings.
What was difficult for me, so back in early April when we had the warnings and we're streaming live on YouTube, and we had it was just an awful night. I think it was April the 2nd. It was that one, I think it was that week. Friday morning or Saturday morning, I was here till 5 a.m. We had torrential rainfall. Tracy was coming in. She got caught up in some water going over the roadways. And so it took her a little bit longer to get here. We're just talking to people. 5 a.m. I got home, immediately went to bed. I got up at 8:30.
Oh gosh, no.
I just couldn't sleep, and then I was back in here because we had that big wind system that blew through. It's just the way your body is at. I guess if I took some medication, my clock has been adjusted. I've always been a morning person in terms of I can get up, go sit on the porch, have a cup of coffee. But I know that there are people. My daughter's one of them, like you. She can
It's
stay up
not
to 2 or
for
3
me.
o'clock in the
Yeah.
morning, and she can sleep till noon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's me. I mean,
I've
once we
never done
leave
that.
here, like I will, get some food, unwind, watch TV, and get caught up on the latest things on social media. 2:30 is my normal bedtime, and for our morning crew, that's about the time they get up. So,
Yeah.
thank goodness
For
for them.
years, when I did mornings, Ed Buckner, Chief Meteorologist Ed Buckner, a lot of folks know Ed. He and I, since there were only 3 of us, I would work the noon show and stay till 1. He would come in at 1, and I would see him at 2:30 in the morning.
Well.
We would cross paths
Yeah.
whenever we had severe weather.
Yeah. We hardly see our morning crew. I mean, we see Journey a lot because Journey is
Journey's-
always working.
she's always here.
She is.
Yeah.
She stays late and she, turns great stories for us. She's very dedicated and committed. But yeah, we hardly see our morning crew. So.
The severe thunderstorm warning has expired for Pulaski County. So it's a strong thunderstorm. Yes, there's lightning with it. I'm still looking out to the west-northwest to see if we can pick up some of that lightning. But the strongest cell right now is in northern Garland County. It is going to be impacting Lake Ouachita. If you have friends or relatives or neighbors, hey, we're going to go to the lake. Around here we say we go to the lake for the weekend. It's either Greers Ferry or Lake Ouachita or Lake Hamilton. So if you know some folks out on the lake or near the lake, might want to tell them to take cover. Get a good gust of wind out of this and maybe a little bit of hail.
Yeah, Lake Hamilton is where I typically will go like on a nice day if I'm going to Hot Springs or something like that. But yeah, today would not be the day. So.
You go to Rowley's Lake House. Does he
Of
let
course.
you use his boat?
He does not.
He's got a
I
yacht.
don't. Does Rolly have a boat? I don't know
Yeah,
if he does.
he's got a heck of a boat.
Of course, Rolly has a boat. But when I do go to Hot Springs, Rolly is always, the host of Oaklawn and making sure you get the sights and sounds of Hot Springs. So definitely love, Bathhouse Row and all of the sights and sounds of Hot Springs. But today, definitely stay indoors. So.
Yeah, I'm going to broaden it out just a bit and show you. This is it, folks. In central Arkansas, the National Weather Service is going to start scaling back. They've just canceled the tornado watch for Cleburne County, for Yell, for Van Buren, for Stone, for Izard, Pope, Fulton, Conway, Randolph, Scott, and Sharp counties in Arkansas. So the counties that I mentioned not long ago, here comes Rowley, west central Arkansas, the counties that have been lifted. And I'm sure a few more by 10 o'clock. What?
Rolly
What are you
said no
shaking your
boat.
head? You don't
Rolly,
have a boat?
we're trying to give you your props out here. Of course you have a yacht. Of course you do.
So there we go. So good news there. For those of you concerned about the weather, we have a lot of people that are concerned. I know that I've got pets. I've got 2 cats that one of them is just hates it. One will hide under the bed and one will just caterwaul all night. What about your dog? Does he?
Oh my goodness. Thunder and severe weather,
They don't like it.
Hates it. And my dog already has anxiety. He naturally has anxiety. So when there is severe weather, he's up all night.
When mom is not around, he has anxiety.
I worry about him. I do, because he normally has anxiety, but hail, because he's not, I guess, used to that, being in Florida, even parts of Texas. I don't think he's used to hail, so hearing it on the roof for him, he's like, what is that? I don't think he can process it. So between that, thunder, and even lightning, because they can see it through, the blinds and the curtains, he's not a fan. So
yeah, my cats will run and hide in a closet someplace. And I used to have a little Yorkie. He would do the same thing. One thing of note, we're beginning to see some activity develop south and east of Little Rock. There's a cell that's coming, a little thunder shower coming together. And one of our models, the HER, was indicating there would be some activity developing later tonight here over the southeast. The main action is extending from Conway along I-40 through western Pulaski County, northern Saline, Garland, Montgomery, over to Polk County. This has, and I'm not going to, hope I don't jinx by saying this, I don't think this has been what was expected today, considering the risk of severe weather and the greatest risk in northeast Arkansas. The good news is we are beginning to see some places west of Little Rock pretty much that are out of the severe weather threat for the rest of the night. Let me go back over here to our team's chat here. Question from a viewer. Storm impact potential in Bigelow. Bigelow is in our viewing area, and the storms were not far from Bigelow. In fact, that's just right up the road here. Hopefully they're okay. I'm sorry, I just now saw that question. It's 8:59, and looks like the storms might be through the Bigelow area. Storm is over Lake Conway, moving through Mayflower, soon to be moving through Maumelle. Little Italy, there's Roland, Arkansas. Moving over, Lake Maumelle area, working toward Ferndale and Pinnacle Mountain State Park. I live not far from there. Just a strong thunderstorm. In terms of wind, let me take the wind here. In terms of winds, might get a pretty good burst of some straight line winds around 40, 45, 50 miles per hour. But in terms of the severe weather potential for this storm, the Weather Service has allowed for that severe thunderstorm warning in western Pulaski County to expire. And there's another, I mentioned, there's a little thunder shower trying to develop, or thunderstorm trying to develop south of Little Rock. So
that's near my neck of the woods. So I hope my little doggy doesn't get active.
I think you're okay.
Okay, good.
I think you're fine. And the storms are still pretty strong out over Polk County, Montgomery County. Finally beginning to see them move out of Yell County. Yell will probably be the next county that's removed from the watch. Friday night, what else am I going to do? I didn't go home, didn't have dinner with the wife tonight.
See, I
Decided to
told
stick
you I
around
could
here
have
and-
brought you some food.
I had some. I don't eat.
That's not good, Tom.
And track. I can't. I was explaining this. Somebody said, "Get that man a piece of pizza."
Oh yes, the infamous pizza moment.
It's hard for me to, and a new warning just came down. It's hard for me to do that in work. Honestly, it causes me to belch a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that on TV.
Yeah, you and me are different, because if I could eat a pizza and do a broadcast, I probably would, because there are plenty of times where my stomach growls on air and I'm just like, geez, I hope nobody hears it. But
I like to eat. Don't get me wrong. I do like to eat.
well, we'll still use some snacks or something.
Well, yeah, we might be able to do that. This is a new warning for Montgomery and Polk County. So the southern or the western end of that line was just issued moments ago from the National Weather Service. And the specifics on that. 60 mile per hour wind gust, quarter-sized hail. The cell is moving east at 30. The line, Faith, is moving to the southeast slowly. Cells riding along that line are moving to the east. So there's a slow movement to this.
That's what it seems like. Now, Tom, this might be a rookie question or a dumb question,
okay.
but you talk about straight line winds, a
winds.
lot. So does that, how does that, I guess, differ when it comes to other winds? Because I feel like the straight line wind sometimes does a lot of damage.
They do. They can do a lot of damage. And the way that you tell the difference between straight line winds and tornadic winds is with a tornado that it's spinning. Everything is kind of wrapping around that tornado, and it's scattered out in different directions. With a straight line wind, when the wind is coming out of the thunderstorm, it's pushing out and away.
Okay.
So everything is lining up in a line. So that's how we can tell. That's how the Weather Service can tell. Because we get a lot of folks that will report, well, we had a tornado here at X, and they'll go out and look and say, nope, they were just very strong straight line winds.
Got it. So sometimes it might not be a tornado because those are different winds, but you still might get some damage even though they're straight line winds. So
and you can see pictures, if you Google pictures of straight line wind damage, you can normally see a lot of trees just being
toppled
kind of
over.
laid out flat. Because of the damage, but because of the winds, I should say. Let's go quick look at Storm Track 11. I've been casually watching those cells in the hail. The hail is the threat tonight. Just north of Lake Ouachita. This is west of Jessieville and to the northwest of Jessieville. This is a pretty good indicator of some large hail there. Glasses on so I can see. You're looking at 1.5 to 1 3/4 inch. So there could be some golf ball sized hail here. 1.5 inch out here toward Big Fork. Jessieville could have 1 inch hail. So that's 1 inch hail is what makes a thunderstorm cell severe. So just wanted to pass that along for those of you that might be watching us there tonight from those locations. Okay. Montgomery and Polk County under a severe thunderstorm warning tonight, and that warning is until 10 o'clock, so right up against the news hour here in about 26 minutes. Another gnat.
I know. They just are loving it. We need one of those like plug-ins that you can get from the.
I'm going to get a bug zapper.
Yeah, that's what we need, because Lord forbid a bug fly in one of our mouths while we're
I
trying
have had
to
it.
talk. And
Listen, I have seen it happen. I've
Yeah.
had it happen.
I've had it happen when
Yeah.
Craig was here, and I had a gnat fly in my mouth and went down the wrong pipe, and I had to flag him down to read the rest of the block. So yeah, it does happen.
It is no fun.
Yeah.
That is for sure.
Well, we did pretty good tonight. I mean, all things considered, of what it was capable of producing,
And that's a good
we
word.
did pretty good.
What was capable of happening on the bad end of things were a lot more storms producing damaging wind and a lot of large hail. I'm not saying it didn't happen. It probably has happened. And again, if you have pictures of that from your area, 501-376-1111, just text your photo over to us. The storms are scattered in nature, not widespread, but scattered. So there's going to be a lot more of us that don't receive weather than do.
Yeah.
Or that type of weather. But I was concerned about it because we just have so much storm fuel to work with, that you talk about those strong winds, when these clouds build up and these storms collapse and rebuild, that wind or that energy's got to come down.
Yeah.
It comes down from the top of that storm and spreads out, and that's what usually brings us our wind damage.
It's better to err on the side of caution and to warn people and say just be prepared, for the potential of severe weather. And that's a lot of the things that we say is the potential is
for
there.
severe weather.
So it's better to just be prepared than to,
Right. It's 9:25. I would imagine you probably need to go get ready for the.
Yep,
10
gotta
o'clock
read
news.
some scripts.
Got to go do some scripts.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hang out here for a little while longer, but I'm gonna have to let the guys get the 10 o'clock prepared. We're streaming on THV 11 Plus and YouTube and Facebook tonight, and I'll get some weather stuff ready to
Yeah.
go for 10 o'clock, and that way everybody can kind of reset and grab their focus, and we can go from there. I don't think we're going to see a storm, knock on wood, that's going to come along producing a tornado warning that would take us through the newscast. Of course, I hope that's the case. Hope I didn't just jinx this.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
So Faith, I'll let you go get your work done.
All right.
And I'm gonna wrap this up here at 9:30 tonight, streaming on THV 11 Plus, and we'll get geared up for the 10 o'clock news. The severe thunderstorm warnings will continue again for Garland County and now for Saline County. The storms in northeast Arkansas have finally departed. We still have a strong storm in northern Pulaski County. Okay, Garland, Hot Spring, and Saline County. That's that box that just popped up right there, and that is until 10:15. A strong to severe thunderstorm capable of producing large hail is now moving over the Lake Washita area in Garland County, and it's moving to the east-southeast. So that is the new warning that we have for you. 1-inch hail is possible. Winds of 60+ miles per hour are possible. 1-inch hail might cause a little bit of damage. Moving east at 35 miles per hour, and it's located near Lake Washita State Park. So it's this cell right here that is strong, and we can take a better look at it on Storm Track 11 of the hail core, the hail that could be occurring here with this, and it's over Lake Washita. There it is. You see the orange bullseye there. That's Lake Washita. Right near Lake Washita. It's going to kind of, if it's moving east, southeast, Hot Springs Village is going to be in the path, Jesseville, Mountain Valley, but it looks as if the cell itself is moving to the southeast within that line. So that's the latest warning that we have. Again, back up toward Pulaski County. For those of you that are watching us, there's a cell over Lake Maumelle right now in northern Pulaski County that's extending to near the Mayflower area. We are this close to Faulkner County. Faulkner County being out of the severe weather threat. Pulaski County, our threat still has a little ways to go. Perry County, gnats. Perry County, you're about finished. Yale County, I think things are good. In fact, I'm going to go back up and see if the watches have been adjusted. So give me just a second. I'm going to take a little bit of a sip of water here. There you go. Yeah, there have been several counties removed from that tornado watch until 2 o'clock. We still have Polk, Montgomery, Garland, Saline, Pulaski, Faulkner, Perry, Lonoke, Prairie, White, Woodruff, Jackson, and Independence counties in our THV 11 viewing area that are under that watch until 2 a.m. But the severe weather threat has certainly come to an end for northwest Arkansas. Certainly some good news there tonight. It is 9:29. Here's what we're going to do, folks. We do have those warnings in effect. I need to spend a little time getting ready for 10 o'clock news. You're watching THV 11 Plus, and here in 30 seconds, we'll let you get back to our THV 11 Plus programming. And thank you for joining us on Facebook tonight. If we do get a tornado warning, I hope we don't. I will break back in. I got to let the guys in the booth get ready for 10 o'clock tonight because I anticipate we're going to have a 10 o'clock newscast. So for Faith Woodard, who joined me tonight, thank you for joining us. Tom Brannon, we'll see you once again back here at 10 o'clock tonight as we provide you with the latest weather information and also the evening news. We'll see you then. Take care.